Keanu Martin here with you, and on a night that saw the NHL postseason get ready to drop the puck on more game ones and a certain baseball team yet again streaking in the wrong direction, well, the NBA, it takes center stage, including one young phenom stepping into his first playoff game and wasting no time making a little bit of history. We'll take you straight to the action. MVP finalist Victor Wembanyama making his first career playoff appearance, and we'll show you more of that history we speak of. Mid-first quarter, Wemby spins and drops it in with the two-handed slam, part of a 15-3 run to put the Spurs up 6. An alien just making the fans go crazy, including, some Spurs greats, David Robinson and Tim Duncan. Late second, Wemby dribbles to the corner and drills the fadeaway tray. Wemby with 21 points at the half. That's the most in a playoff debut in a half since 1996. Now, early fourth, Wemby in the paint, plays through the double team, leads him plus the foul. Spurs up 21 after we made free throw, under 6 to go. Wemby pulls up for 3 and cashes it. What are we witnessing right now? Wemby finishing with 35 points, 5 of 6 from three-point land. The Spurs take a 1-0 series lead in the first round, their first playoff win since 2019. Their first Game 1 win at home since 2017. As for the Blazers, now 3-13 across their last 16 playoff games. But more about this alien. Historic. Victor Wembanyama dropping 35. That's the most points ever by a Spur in his first career playoff game, and he does it passing a legend in Tim Duncan. Listen, some players just make their playoff debuts, but Victor Wembanyama, he made history in his. And now we bring in CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez. And John, you already know where I'm going with this one. We got to start this conversation talking about what we saw from Victor Wembanyama making his playoffs debut. He finishes 5 of 6 from distance, over 61% from.
ESPN just said something that I have been thinking since the opening tip of Game 1. Victor Wembanyama is not human. And after watching him put up 35 points, 5 of 6 from three-point land, in his first ever playoff game, leading the Spurs to a 111-98 victory over the Portland Trail Blazers, I am fully convinced. The aliens are here. And his name is Victor Wembanyama. Let me break this down for you because nobody else will. The first 2 minutes of this video show the highlights of a performance that will be remembered for decades. Wembanyama spins and drops a two-handed slam. He dribbles to the corner and drills a fadeaway 3. He plays through double teams. He gets to the free throw line. He pulls up for threes and cashes them. He had 21 points at the half. That is the most in a playoff debut in a half since 1996. He finished with 35 points. That is the most points ever by a Spur in his first career playoff game, passing Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, one of the greatest power forwards in the history of the sport. And Wembanyama did it in his first game. John Gonzalez, the CBS Sports NBA analyst, said it perfectly. He said, "When you pass Tim Duncan on any list, it's a good night for you, right?" And he is right. But this is not just a good night. This is a statement. This is a warning. This is a 21-year-old kid announcing to the entire league that the playoffs are his stage now. And everyone else is just living in it. John Gonzalez also pointed out that Wembanyama did not even need to play the entire game. He said, "There's a big chunk of the third quarter and the fourth where he didn't really even need him. He was just sitting on the bench because the Spurs ended up padding their lead. Imagine if he wanted to go for more than that. He could have very easily put up 40 or 45. That is the scariest part. Wembanyama was so dominant that he did not need to play the fourth quarter. The game was already over. He could have scored 40. He could have scored 45. He could have scored 50 if the Spurs needed it. But they did not. Because the Spurs are not a one-man team. They have depth. They have shooting. They have defense. And they have a superstar who makes everyone around him better." The ESPN crew also talked about the Spurs' mentality. They came into the game with a business-like approach. The entire team showed up pre-game in black suits. Kelly Olynyk initiated the idea, saying that the Spurs mean business. And they backed it up on the court. The defense was excellent. The Spurs were third in defensive rating this season. They had the best record since the All-Star break. And the moment did not seem too big for them. They just did what they do, which is play great defense and run through their best 3 guys. John Gonzalez said, "Wemby had 35, but Fox had a great game tonight, and so did Stephen Castle, who could also end up making all defense along with Victor Wembanyama. That is the key. The Spurs are not just Wembanyama. They have a supporting cast that is talented, young, and hungry. De'Aaron Fox is an all-star point guard who has been in the playoffs before. Stephen Castle is a rookie who plays like a 10-year veteran. Devin Vassell is a bucket getter. Julian Champagnie is an underrated defender. The Spurs have shooters. They have athletes. They have a system. And they have Wembanyama. That is a recipe for a deep playoff run. John Gonzalez also pointed out the disparity in three-point shooting. The Spurs shot 45% from deep. The Blazers shot 26%. That is a massive gap. And it is a gap that is not going to close in this series. The Blazers have Denny Avdija, who had a great game. He had 30 points. He is having a phenomenal season. He could end up as the most improved player in the NBA. He has an outside chance of making All-NBA. But he cannot do it alone. Only two players in double figures for the Blazers. Denny and Scoot Henderson. That is not enough. Drew Holiday was a good facilitator with 10 assists, but he only went 4 for 14 from the floor. Donovan Clingan was a no-show. And that is a problem. If the Blazers want to steal a game, they really need Clingan to hit some outside shots to pull Wembanyama away from the basket. Because when Wembanyama is down there, it becomes a no-fly zone. Nobody wants to go into the paint when he is lurking. John Gonzalez said, "Not only is it Victor Wembanyama, but then on the perimeter, Fox gives you a good effort. Champagnie and Vassell are really underrated defender. And then again, Stephen Castle, I have him making second-team all-defense. So there's just so much to ask of a Blazers team." And he is right. The Blazers are a placeholder for next year. They are happy to be in the playoffs. They have not been there since 2021. They get Damian Lillard back next year. This is just something to build on for them. But they are not winning this series. The Spurs are too good. They are too deep. They are too locked in. And they have Victor Wembanyama. The ESPN crew also touched on the Thunder and the Suns. Oklahoma City is the defending champion. They won their playoff opener by 30-plus points. They are the second team in NBA history with back-to-back 30-plus point wins in a playoff opener. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 25 points. Chet Holmgren had 13 in the first quarter. The Thunder are a juggernaut. And they are waiting for the winner of this series. But the Spurs are not scared of the Thunder. They beat them in the regular season. They match up well with them. Wembanyama versus Holmgren is a battle of unicorns. That series would be incredible. But first, the Spurs have to take care of the Blazers. And after Game 1, it is clear that they are going to do exactly that. John Gonzalez said he gave the Blazers one game in a gentleman's sweep. He said he is not sure that they even got that one because the Spurs defense is really suffocating. And I agree. The Blazers are not winning a game in this series. The Spurs are going to sweep them. They are going to win Game 2. They are going to go to Portland and win Game 3. They are going to close it out in Game 4. And then they are going to move on to the second round, where they will face the Thunder. And that series is going to be an all-time classic. Two young, talented, hungry teams fighting for the right to go to the Western Conference Finals. And I think the Spurs are going to win. I think they are going to the Conference Finals. I think they are going to the NBA Finals. And I think Victor Wembanyama is going to be the reason why. The ESPN crew said Wembanyama is not human. And they are right. He is something else. He is something we have never seen before. He is a 7'4" unicorn who can dribble, shoot, pass, block shots, and run the floor like a guard. He is the most unique player in the history of the sport. And he is just getting started. This was his first playoff game. He is only going to get better. And that is terrifying for the rest of the league. So here is what I think happens for the rest of the playoffs. The Spurs sweep the Blazers. They beat the Thunder in 6 games. They beat the Nuggets or the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals in 7 games. And then they beat the Celtics or the Bucks in the NBA Finals in 6 games. Victor Wembanyama wins Finals MVP. He wins Defensive Player of the Year tomorrow. He finishes top 3 in MVP voting. And he cements himself as the best player in the league. Not in 2 years. Not in 5 years. Right now. Subscribe to the channel if you want real NBA analysis. Not the doubt. Not the he is too young narratives. Just the truth about the most unique player we have ever seen and the team that is going to shock the world. And comment below. Can the Spurs beat the Thunder? And is Wembanyama already a top 3 player in the league? I read every single comment. Now let me know your thoughts and get ready for Game 2.